Welcome back to the Breakfast Show. For those of you who are just joining us, we are about to divulge in our topic of the week, which is single parenting.
Now, we began on Monday by debunking common myths about raising a child alone. Now, myth number one was that single parents are an aberration, not the norm. Now, this is not true. There are hundreds of men and women both playing mum and dad to a child, even in Malaysia.
The second myth is single moms live thanks to child support money from dad. Again, not true. Most single moms find that alimony payments are not enough to feed, clothe, and educate their kids.
Myth number three, the single family is a broken home. This is also false. In fact, studies in the US show that a majority of kids who only have one parent have grown up to become healthy, happy, well-functioning adults.
So those are some of the myths that we've debunked. Now, yesterday also we featured real-life stories of a single mother and a single father who've embraced their role of raising their kids on their own.
One of them has weathered 3 financial crises, and the other says a diamond heart has helped her get through her challenges.
So today we wanted to talk to them in person, so please welcome Ratna and Patricia.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Good morning.
And congratulations on your efforts, on being single parents. We watched a little bit of your stories yesterday, and even your kids had a few words to say, and they, have turned out to be well-rounded young individuals.
They seem like very good, decent, wholesome kids. I must say. But let's go back to the situation. Obviously, this was either by choice or not by choice. So how did you end up becoming a single parent?
It's fate for me.
Right? Yeah, Sharon. Okay. It was fate that you felt.
I accept it, and I put it this way. I enjoy the sadness because not all the time you will feel sad. Right. And basically, in order to balance life, you can only accept happiness.
That's right.
So you have to go through the sadness in order to appreciate the happiness, value it. So it is a balance in life.
And how many kids do you have, Sharon?
I have 5.
Wow, 5 kids, and on your own. Wow. And how many years have you been a single parent?
This coming 25th will be my 4th year.
4th year.
Wow. And what about yourself, Ratna? Because, we always talk about single moms.
Yeah.
Single dads don't quite get enough attention.
Overlooked.
Well, usually dads are busy working, right?
Yeah.
In my case, we've been married for almost 10 odd years. And I always had the contention that marriage is for life.
For life, right.
And I would always try to resolve things by talking it out and keeping things under control.
Right.
But unfortunately, there were instances where there were interferences by in-laws and other parties where things that were bound to happen happened. So after 10 years, it was a surprise. So ever since then, I had to go through a period of identifying myself as a single parent.
Right.
Yeah.
And how long ago was this?
This was somewhere around about year 2005.
Okay.
This is it's about 7 years now.
Okay. And we understand that your son lives with you, but your daughter lives with your ex-wife, and they're both teenagers at this point. How did that all happen?
Well, when the breakup took place, they were very confused. They didn't know what was coming. So they were just taken out of my home, the matrimonial home, and they were kept and they were given one side of the story. And I didn't get to see them for a period of almost 9 months.
Right.
And then it was only through a court process that visitations were allowed. So this was a process, a much not liked process, that I had to go to court, or in other words, I was put in a situation where it had to be a court-resolved thing. So it was accessed through court orders that I was able to see my children again and share my love and bond with them back again over fortnights. Yeah.
we understand, you know, because we talked about divorce in our last week's segment, and it's never easy on both parties, be it who is wrong or right. You know, it's not about that. But when there are kids involved, now that really gets complicated. So maybe if you could share with us your experience, how did you, deal with your kids, or how did you actually manage that situation with your kids, already having to go through so much on your own? Maybe Sharon, you can share.
Like on my case. To me, I want my kids to have both, how do I say, they look at their father and they look at me, although we are not together, but where kids are concerned, we put our hands together and deal with it.
Right.
Okay, like for my case, I will give in.
Right.
I will give in because the more you give in, for the better of your kids, it's something that you are not at loss.
Right.
But at that point when you guys were when the separation just occurred, how did you make your kids understand or even accept?
Well, they have to go through the pains. There's no shortcuts to it. But time heals the pain.
Right.
Right, okay.
It have to go through the stages. But as the time pass by, they learn that they love their father and they can love me at the same time. That is the most important thing. Although we are divorced, but we are there for them.
Right.
I always put there in their mind.
And what about yourself?
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Because your situation took a little bit of a twist.
Yes, that's right. But there are some similarities and overlaps. But in my situation, it was a confrontational between me and my ex-spouse.
Right.
So the children are very smart people. They can identify.
And at that time, they were what, 7, 8 years old?
Yeah, that's right. They were below 12. Yeah. So they were looking closely at each of their parent and trying to see which parent is suitable for them.
Right.
And it was a tough period because the so-called custodial parent, and at that time with interim custody, was my ex-spouse. So she was dictating terms and being very strong in the time schedules, and if I were to be a bit late, I would be punished for it.
Right.
And during public holidays, during festive times, she dictates which half and all that. So. And in times when my son gets hospitalized, she comes in late when I'm already there. I check him into the hospital. She comes in late, and then she takes over, and then she tells me to just get away. And it was then I decided that I should stand up for my children.
Right.
And one fine day, it was. After about 2 years of visitation access, that my son did reveal to me that he really would like to stay with me.
Right.
And his words were, "I like to stay with you for good."
Right.
And then I had to tell him, "Look, son, this is a big decision. You have to think about it very carefully, and then let me know in another 2 weeks when you come to see me."
Right.
So he came back and he said, "Yep, I've made up my mind. This is what I want." So then, I had to take the matter further, and then it was a court battle on custody disputes.
May we ask what your relationship with your daughter is like?
Okay, so since when my son decided to stay with me, my daughter went just the opposite way.
Right.
And she went on to protect her mother, and she became hostile towards me.
Right.
And she doesn't talk to me.
Yeah. There are instances where we've read about, when divorce happens, kids sometimes do take sides, either by choice or, by some other sort of influence. But how, time has passed since, more important, how are the kids, what are their viewpoints? Do they have a very distorted or very broken image of, the institution of marriage? Do they believe that, two people cannot
It's actually
cohabitate?
the parents the father and the mother portray the view, and we should not use brainwash them.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
because to me, I'm living alone with my 5 kids, so I always remind them that if I were to anything happen to me, the next person who will take care of them is their father.
That's right. Okay.
Okay, and I should give not brainwash them or give a bad picture of their father, because no matter what, whatever happened to me, I know the next person is them. So the best thing is to make things look good, positive.
Right. Right.
So by the end of the day, everything would work out well.
Okay, so
for
we
me.
talked about the emotional aspect of
Yeah.
it, right? But what about financially?
The realities of things when it comes down to being
Well,
on your own.
financially for me, he back up. I thank him a lot. Okay, and on my side, I do my own business in order to provide to back him up. So we both work hand in hand.
Right.
Okay. Okay. There's still that cooperation in
Yes, we
for
make it
the
as a
kids.
team.
And Ratna, yourself, nobody is going to question a single dad, because in people's minds, they
Yeah.
think, man, he earns enough money. Is
He'll,
that
he'll
true?
provide.
In a way, yes. In a way, no. Well, when divorce strikes upon us,
Yeah.
our concentration at work is low.
Yeah.
So we don't seem to perform well at work.
Okay.
So our productivity goes down.
Yep.
And this is not for a short time. It lasts to the entire period,
Yeah.
or until a decision is made. So financially, yes, partly agree. But then legal fees are no longer
Cheap.
cheap. Yeah, so it was taxing
Yeah.
very heavily. But then it's, after all, it's for our children, right?
Right.
So it was money spent for the children, and to get justice, right? We have to
Right.
we have to drive the extra mile as fathers to get what we have to get, because when children voice out their views through, like, for example, me, so I would have to do whatever I have to do to get justice. So in that process, I had to spend a lot of money, right? And to get what I had to
You're
get.
smiling, Sharon. Why?
You shouldn't go through that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, to me,
Well, the
You-
thing is, people have differences.
Yes.
And sometimes when two very strong, opinionated individuals come
Clash.
together, clashes, and that's when situations like that arises.
yeah,
But-
nothing one is the same.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, I think everyone wants the best for their kids.
Yes.
But who agrees on that? Who can come to agreement with that? That's the hard part, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because to me, if you want to look at things differently, the first thing that you have to do is to change yourself. It started from you,
Right.
not hoping from your partner, not hoping from your kids will make things better. No, you have to make things change first, and then you cannot stop. If first time fail, second time fail, 1,000 time fail, you still have to have the positiveness towards it, because that is your goal.
Okay.
So in
You want-
terms, in that sense,
agree.
there's a lot of
I agree with
sacrifice.
what you are saying.
Yeah.
It's good, it's good to have those views. But when you are up against a party that is bent on controlling you and dictating you as a second-hand parent,
Right.
that really belittles you,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So today time has come where in the fast world, in the cities, those thoughts are very lacking.
Right.
Yes.
Of course, I will very much support what Sharon has mentioned.
okay.
I would very much agree with that.
Right.
But unfortunately, each situation is different.
Yeah.
Right. So
Okay.
yeah.
We
I
talk
think need a support group, because we do
I think so too. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what's lacking.
we have a
Right.
single mom
Support group.
association.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think the dad have to put time to go online.
Are there
Facebook.
support groups for single fathers?
Well, to be honest, right now there is none.
Right.
But I think there is one group called Permalek,
Yeah,
which is
which we
trying
will
to
talk
do.
to tomorrow,
Yeah,
actually.
we will try to
Okay.
address that.
I think you should start one on Facebook right now. Yeah.
Fan page, Super Dad, maybe.
Super dads.
Okay, let's talk about moving on from now that you all have been single parents for quite a while. Is it difficult to let new people into your life, and maybe even assimilating into this family unit?
I
To
will
me,
answer
yes.
Sharon, yeah.
Yes.
Why is it hard?
Because how should I say? I think too much. Okay.
Are you more guarded? You're more wary? You're more protective of your kids?
Yes. Because I've got 3 girls and 2 boys,
Right.
and looking at other people, sometimes they make it through the second marriage, sometimes they don't. So where my situation now, I'm enjoying, taking care of them, and
Right.
I have a small business. So I'm grateful to that.
Okay.
Because building up, remarried is building up another unit.
Right.
So at my age, not that I'm old,
No, we didn't even insinuate
No,
that.
I'm
We
young
didn't even
and-
insinuate that.
but I just put that aside first.
But you can't help falling in love, right? What if that happens?
I believe that's
Well,
so.
that one, leave it to God. As long as it doesn't happen, I just stay
Right.
away.
So you're not out there looking, but if it
Yes.
happens, then you'll
It happen, it
cross that bridge
happens.
when you come to it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, leave it to
Okay,
God.
and Ratna?
Ratna?
In my case, my ex, I believe she's remarried.
Okay.
But myself, my son was not open to the idea
Of someone new.
of someone new in
Okay.
in our
And
family.
is that the sacrifice that you sort of like given to in order to
Yes,
be with
because
your son?
he's very attached to me, and he's not ready to let another third person come
Right.
and share.
I think especially
And-
after what you both have gone through
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
And again, to be thankful, I have.
So you would need to seek his approval if you do that.
The other way around now.
Look who we have. I would like you to meet. That's cute.
So,
though. That's
on the other hand,
very sweet.
I have good support from my brothers and sisters.
okay. Yeah.
So the uncles and aunties are around, and they are there to discipline, take some, discipline
Yeah.
the roles and.
Let's
things like
talk
that.
about a little bit about family, extended family units. How important are they when you are a single parent?
To me, my friends surround me
Your friends,
because they are the one who is nearby me.
they're like
Right.
your family.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. My family is there, but my friends, my best friends, my closest friend to me, they are there with me all the time.
Right.
Because when I'm alone with my kids, but even my ex is there because during the weekdays, the kids are with me. During the weekends, the kids are with my ex-husband.
Okay, the dad.
And even, let's say, for example, we go out for my kids, what is that?
The activities.
The activities,
okay.
we go out together. He will bring his wife, his another 2 kids, and I'll bring my kids, and we sit down together like
That's
like
the
a big
perfect-
family.
That's a perfect
Situation,
ideal situation, right?
In my
But it-
case, that will be absolute nightmare.
Okay, but yeah, you mentioned his uncles, your brothers and sisters.
Yes.
How important have they been in
As a support.
bringing up your
Very
child?
much so, because my son has got role models like in his cousins. He sees his cousin sisters, cousin brothers, who are about his same age group and who could identify, relate with him, and share the latest, latest going ons.
Right.
So he very much looks upon these cousins of his.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, before we go, we noticed that you're holding a book, Sharon.
Yes.
Is that
Okay.
something you wanted to share with us?
Yeah, for those single mothers and single fathers, this book, Don't Be Sad, La Tahzan, but Daughter I, it does open up my heart, my mind, emotionally, physically, mentally, that make a big change in my life.
Right.
So those, I think, who is going through all this trauma,
That
should
would be
go-
a good place to
That
start.
will start.
A good start.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
thank
one-
you so much, both. Yeah.
I have one last question, actually. Now, we've talked a lot about, somewhat a negative tone on the whole single parenthood thing.
Yeah.
But maybe share with us, in your experience, what are some of the best things about being a single parent?
Well, we don't have to put up with some negative comments.
That's what I thought. That was what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are back
You're in
to
control,
Yeah,
right?
we're
You're
in
in
control
control.
of the situation.
And
Right.
Sharon,
Very
what,
much.
what would be
I
the
was
best?
like when I divorced, I was like headless chicken because
Right.
I have no one to instruct me to do
What- yeah.
Right.
to
You,
do
you were
things.
so used to having a decision
yes,
maker.
yes, yes,
And now
yes.
you have to
so
make
like
all
now,
decisions.
oh my God, I have to decide for myself.
Did you feel it was empowering? when you learned that you could make decisions?
Now I enjoy deciding what I want to do for my own future and for my kids. But regarding my kids, I always refer to my ex first before any decision is
out of respect, right? Because he is the father.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you so
great.
much, both of you,
Thank you
for
for
sharing
having us
your
here.
lives and stories with us.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we'll actually continue our discussion on single parenting, and Ratna will join us once again.
And we'll talk about an organization which we touched on a little bit called Pamalik, as well as Srop Thomist International, and find out how they provide support to single parents.
Yes, so of course, if you have any questions or comments, please email us at tbs@ntv7.com.my, or you could send us a message on Facebook. Our tag is NTV7TBS.
That's right. On that note, we're going to take another short break, but still to come, it's your fashion fix.
Yes, the Chanel of Taiwan lands on our shores. Find out why socialites and A-list Hollywood celebs alike are taking notice of this Asian designer's clothes.
Plus, Burberry infuses classic cuts